A couple of best friends climb a 2,000-foot tall TV tower. What could possibly go wrong? A whole bag full of butterflies is the answer. 2022's Fall had a fair amount of success in cinemas, though the film's recent Netflix listing has really given it new life, and induced a hell of a lot of sickness. I believe the film is a huge dose of stomach-churning nightmare fuel, and I'm going to discuss why in my breakdown of the film. There will be major spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. Right then, we've got Becky and Hunter, played by Grace Caroline Currey and Virginia Gardner. They're good old buddies, old pals, and also love the sweet kick of adrenaline. Red Bull just doesn't cut it. These gals are all about the real deal. While on a mountain climbing expedition together along with Becky's husband Dan, one slight error leads to Dan's death, and Becky is driven into a lengthy period of alcohol abuse and depression. Yeah, that's quite understandable actually. Feeling like Becky needs to let go of her personal demons, clinging onto the past in a hurtful manner, Hunter reaches out to her, asking her if she would like to climb the 4th tallest structure in the US and scatter Dan's ashes. What a fabulous slice of consideration that is. Oh babe, so I know that you've been scarred for life by witnessing your husband plummet into his death, but do you fancy the risk of plummeting to our deaths? You might feel a bit better. Inbox me, hun. Yeah, nice work, Hunter love. Really earned your friendship bracelet there. Well, Becky accepts the deal because she's hardcore like that, and so the journey begins. I will say that I generally enjoyed the on-screen chemistry between Curry and Gardner here, and that was essential for this film to work because it's mostly a two-hander and we spend the majority of the film on the tower with them. That is where the pure, unfiltered nightmare fuel can be mined. A film with such a simple concept can often be incredibly impactful, and I remember seeing this movie on release with a near full house, and you could hear and see people squirming at some scenes. That'll sound like an exaggeration to some, but it was an experience like very few I've had. In my past, I've dabbled a bit with the old acrophobia, often having the common nightmare of falling from a great height and waking up as soon as I hit the floor. Yeah, you know that one. Those sudden sharp shocks to the system are delivered by Fall quite frequently. Even before they get to the B67 tower, they're nearly smashed to bits by a truck because live streaming's better than survival. Just lovely. Yeah, remember where I said I enjoyed the on-screen chemistry between the actors? Yeah, I enjoyed the chemistry, but some of the decisions made here are a bit... Funnily enough, when it comes to the tower, I actually found there to be more squirm-inducing moments in the climb than the threat of falling while at the top. Several slick camera angles look right up the tower, showing the distance which must be climbed, and even Becky placing her first foot on the ladder makes it wobble. It's old, it's rusty, it's shaky, all the aspects you shouldn't want, but when it comes to creating tension in a cinematic medium, goodness me does it deliver. The parts that went right through me were whenever the tower rattled or creaked, just the metallic shrieking involved with the pressure of the girl's weight. It tied knots in my gut, and the higher they climbed, the tighter the knots became. One piece of the ladder breaks off when Becky grabs it, falling down the disgusting drop, showing us how far they've climbed. It's only been a couple minutes and already a fall from this height would lead to certain death. But even scarier is the fact they've hardly scratched the surface. Make no bones about it, this tower is a beast, and though it's fictional, it's based on the very real KXTV KOVR tower in California. That's according to Fall's director, Scott Mann. That little fella comes in at 2,049 feet, and itself is the 7th tallest structure that has ever existed. How's that stomach feeling now? The B67 continues to be problematic for the climbers. Loose bolts rattle around. You can even see bolts just lying around, not in place as they should be. Brackets are almost totally eroded. It just never feels secure, and one wrong move could lead to a literal downfall. What I found really rather fascinating about the direction here is, you know it's a movie, and yet they were able to drive tension in a way where the fates of these characters were literally up in the air. It lured you in, anticipating that moment where one of them puts a foot wrong, and that sinking feeling can rise to the surface of your chest. I also need to applaud the sound design here. Something as simple as the sound of a strong wind roaring through the structure added to the anxiety gauge. Not only does it make the tower wobble, but it constantly evokes the fear of the girls being blown right off the ladder from the force. Gravity, the elements, weight distribution, build quality, everything around Becky and Hunter is a threat. They are at times themselves a threat, with Hunter shaking the ladder as a joke leading to a bolt falling right out of its socket. She even hangs one-handed off the top of the tower, all so that she can get a nice shot for her followers. Yeah, really smart decision there, psycho. Pick your moments and all that. By the way, if you're subbed to this channel and you expect any of us to do this kind of thing for you, you're goddamn right we would. We really quite like you. And if you're not subbed, there's your proof we care. Mine and Stu's Eiffel Tower climb should be out on the 32nd of March, so watch out for that. Anyway, back to Fall. Dan's ashes are scattered in a touching scene, and so begins the descent. Not the Neil Marshall film, although that is nightmare fuel. We are met with a spine-tingling scene where the ladder shatters into several pieces after Becky is nearly launched into the Shadow Realm. Thankfully, she survives, and now both of the girls are stuck right at the top without a chance of rescue, isolated in the middle of the desert without a proper means of contact. A fatal fall beneath them, dehydration and starvation on the horizon, and only a couple square feet of space to move. I honestly couldn't imagine many more frightening places to find myself than this. Any wrong move or lapse in concentration, a lot of the film is Becky figuring out how they can get out of this horrible place, until we get hit with the 47 meters down twist. A bulk of the film was Becky's grief-fueled hallucinations after Hunter fell to her death onto a metal dish below. The nightmare fuel hit Becky so hard, it made her forget the facts around her. Her best friend died beneath her and was picked away at by vultures, yet the all-encompassing fear that consumed her hit the reset button on her brain. Though not the most impactful twist I have seen, I find the concept of being in such a scary scenario that your memories and perception of the world are warped into something false, something which could potentially lure your physical self away from safety and risk a real fall. Yeah, that was pretty bleak. Becky's world was built around the framework of losing her loved ones, and it mentally corrupted her, making her prescription of nightmare fuel effective in various degrees. Thankfully, when all is said and done, Becky survives the ordeal, but the impression left on her from the experience will likely linger in her for a long time, much like seeing this film has done for many watchers. It's a film that since its Netflix release has led to many articles regarding the audience reaction, aimed towards feelings of anxiety while watching, and I think that Fall's premise and execution via its direction truly make me understand why. It gave me a lump in my throat when I first saw it, and that lump soon re-emerged on repeat viewings, and that is why I believe that Fall rightfully enters our Nightmare Fuel Hall of Fame. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this statement, and stick around for a quick little message about a really cool upcoming Blu-ray release from our friends at Eureka Entertainment. I've been Connor from Unleash the Ghouls, thank you for watching, but now let me hit you with the promo. Earlier this year I did a Nightmare Fuel episode on the truly bizarre oddity that is Possession, directed by visionary Polish filmmaker ANDRZEJ. Well, coming soon from Eureka comes a box set that will likely pickle your brains, featuring 3 of ZULAWSKI's films. The Third Part of the Night, The Devil, and On the Silver Globe will be released as part of the Masters of Cinema Blu-ray range, with brand new 4K restorations. This 2-disc Region B box set, featuring a hardbound slipcase and 60-page collector's booklet, is limited to 3,000 copies and will be released on the 22nd of May 2023. You can order ANDRZEJ 3 films via the link in the description and pinned comment today. Cheers out.